Okay, in this video, we are going to go over how to solve practical problems using equations. So it will be word problems. So checklist. Read the questions thoroughly. Use variables that make sense. So sometimes the question gives you a variable like x. Sometimes they don't give you, they just say a number. Then you have to set it up as an X or any letter you want to use. Sometimes you have to figure out what kind of thing you want to set up as a variable. And underline what is given and what you are trying to find. Check your answer to make sure it makes sense. Okay, so question. 2 more than x is the same as -6. What is the number? So remember, more than is plus, is equal, right? So remember these keywords, buzzwords. So 2 more than x is actually x plus 2 is the same as -6. So x plus 2 equals -6. What is the number? Subtract 2 on both sides. X equals -8. So the number is -8. Number 2, 12 less than a number is -20. Okay, be very careful with less than. So less than is subtraction. Yes, it is subtraction. And you have 12 and a number. For a number, you can use x. But for less than, you have to switch them. Remember, you have to switch them. If it is less than, so it will be actually x minus 12 equals -20. So that's your equation. And how do you solve for x? You're going to add 12 on each side. And x equals -8. So -8 is the answer. Okay, number 3. The sum of a number and the opposite of 5 is -11. What is the number? Remember, sum is addition. A number, you can use x. Well, how do you write the opposite of 5? That's -5. So sum of x and -5 is equal sign -11. So x plus -5 equals -11. You can put parentheses around the negative number. And yesterday, remember, when you add a negative number, is the same as subtraction. Okay, this is the same as x minus 5 equals -11. How do you find the number? Add 5 on each side. X equals -11 plus 5 is -6. The number is -6. Okay, 7 less than a number is equals -5. What is the number? Again, less than. Be careful. You have to switch. So a number comes first. A number comes first. -7 equals -5 is the equation. And you have to add a 7 on each side. Then x equals -5 plus 7 is 2. Number is 2. Okay, the product multiplication. So -5 times r is 30. So -5 r equals 30. How do you find the r? Divide both sides by -5. R equals -6. 30 divided by -5. Put in your calculator, it will give you -6. Okay, the quotient of a number and 7 is -5. What is the number? The quotient is division. You have a number, you can use x. So the quotient of x of a number and 7 is -5. So be careful. A number has to be at the top. It cannot be at the bottom. 7 has to be at the bottom. It has to be the denominator. How do you find x? Multiply both sides by we have to multiply both sides by 7. And here 7 is cancelled. X equals -35. The equation is x equals 7 equals -5. Answer is negative 35. 2/5 of a number, remember when you have a fraction of a number, that's multiplication. 2/5 of a number equals negative 10. Okay, so when you have a fraction, there are several ways to solve it, but let's try to multiply by reciprocal, both sides. So remember, reciprocal is you switch top and bottom. So when you have 2/5, you're gonna switch top and bottom, it will be 5/2. And when you multiply reciprocal, you can put in your calculator 5/2 times 2/5. They will cancel each other. They will be 1. 1x equals negative 10 times 5/2. Put it in your calculator. It will give you negative 50/2, which is 25. Negative 25. 1x is the same as x. The equation is 2/5x equals negative 10. The answer is negative 25. Okay, so Charlie had 51 quarters, which was 50 more than Susie. How many quarters did Susie have? So it doesn't give you a variable, but you have to set up the variable. You can use the letter S or any other letter. So S is the number of quarters Susie has, okay? And it has was, but was is the same as is. Was is the past tense of is, so it's equal sign. So Charlie had 51 quarters, which is equal to 50 more than Susie. Susie's, the number of quarters Susie has S, so S plus 15. Okay, this is not 5, this is S. So this is the equation. 51 equals S plus 15. Subtract 15 on both sides. Okay, let me go back. And then this will be cancelled. S equals 51 minus 15. Put in your calculator, it will give 36, right? So Susie had 36 quarters. If Tom earned $324 working 1 week, if he earns $9 per hour, how many hours did he work? So you don't have to worry about a week for this question. It's talking about how many hours, right? How many hours? So let's say age is number of hours. How many hours he worked? So we can set up 324 equals, so you have a 9 and 8. So let's think about it. If you work 1 hour, it will be 9 times 1. If you work 2 hours, how much money do you make? It's 9 times 2, 18. If you work 3 hours, it's 9 times 3, $27. So if you work 8 number of hours, you will multiply. So it's 9 times age. So that is the equation. And then divide both sides by 9. So use your calculator. So 325 divided by 9, put in your calculator. What is it? H equals 36. So he worked 36 hours. Number 10, each household in the United States receives about 676 pieces of junk mail per year. About how many pieces does a household receive per week? Well, you have to know there are 52 weeks in a year. Okay, you need this information. So the total is 676. And how many pieces per week will be your variable. So X is the number of pieces a household receives per week, okay? And there are 52 weeks. So you multiply 52 times X. So that's the equation. And divide both sides by 52. So 676 divided by 52. Put in your calculator. X equals 13. So each household receives 13 junk mails per week. And about 1/8 of the population is left-handed. In what size school do you expect to find about 50 left-handed students? So size of school population, let's say it's X. This is the school population. School's total population. And remember, 1/8 of the population. 1/8 of is multiplication. 1/8 is 1/8. X equals left-handed. How many? It's 50. So multiply 50 both sides. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. You have to multiply by 8, not 50. So multiply both sides by 8. Then you have 1x equals 400. So x equals 400. So there are 400 students and 1/8 is left-handed. So 1/8x equals 50 is the equation. Okay, 12. If it takes 45 peanuts to make 1 ounce of peanut butter, how many peanuts will be needed to make 12 ounce jar of peanut butter? Okay, so how many peanuts are needed? Okay, so that's x. X is the number of peanuts that will be needed to make 12 ounces of jar. And they say it takes 45 peanuts to make 1 ounce of peanut butter. So you can kind of set up a proportion for this one. So let's say number of peanuts. And then the denominator can be number of ounce. So if it takes 45 peanuts to make 1 ounce, how many peanuts do you need to make 12? Okay, then we can do cross multiplication. So 1 times x equals 45 times 12. Put it in your calculator, 45 times 12. So x equals 540. And x equals 540. That's the answer. And then your equation is 45/1 equals x over 12.